If there's one joystick that has gone through more revisions, it has to be my slider stick. It is the most popular. It is really a very popular stick. I'm not going to say most popular, but it's very popular. And it's popular because it uses a mechanism that slides but doesn't tilt. This was originally designed for the PlayStation Portable way back in the day. And it's great because the throw is not very great. It has a pretty good spring return, and it doesn't tilt. So for a lot of users, this was very handy because it doesn't tilt. Now here's the big problem, as we found over time, is that the mechanism itself is really designed for thumb use. It's not designed for your hand or your elbow or your foot or things like that, where it would really pay off. So I've had various ways of accomplishing that. Basically, all of them taking the load off of the stick and making this more of a sensor, and letting the other parts of the joystick take the load. Because it has, in addition to that, it's prone to, if you twist it too much, the mechanism is going to break also. So I have gone back and forth to the drawing board many, many times with this mechanism, and I have a new revision which I'm happy enough to be able to start releasing very, very soon. This is called the Slider BB version. So, what does the BB stand for? Well, we'll talk about that. First of all, it's going to be in this solid white case with the black tops. All of them are going to have this rubber top. This one doesn't have it yet, but all of them will have it. The height has been reduced. The footprint is the same size as all of, or at least most of my other sticks, like the Palm. And it's going to be available in two versions, both the PS2 version, or I'm sorry, the PS5 version, which is this one here, which uses the TRRS jack. This can also be used with the X1, X2 jacks on the Microsoft Adaptive Controller, but this is primarily for the Sony Adaptive Controller, or whatever they're calling it these days, those E1 to E4, 5 ports on the side. So that's that one. And then you have what I traditionally do, which is the USB version. This is specifically for the Xbox Adaptive Controller to use in either the left or the right USB ports. It can be connected to the computer directly, but remember, this is going to be a D input device. It's not an X input device. So if you need X input, you really need to run either of these through an adaptive controller. Okay, so back to the BB. What does the BB stand for? The BB stands for ball bearings. So what I've done is I've redesigned the mechanism here so that ball bearings, four of them, surround the joystick, and they take the load. So they take not only the load pressing down, but they take the load going in each of the directions. So they roll around in there, and there's a permanent lubrication in there too to help them roll. What this means is a couple things. One, it really takes a lot of load off of the mechanism. And, these are, let's see, 6 millimeter ball bearings, steel ball bearings. So they are very, very, very strong. They're way stronger than any other component within this stick. So they can certainly take the abuse. And what it allows for is the original slider stick. It was possible that the entire friction of this circle would be rubbing against the top of the lid here. Now, I mitigated that by using some very slippery material that helps it slide better, but it still had a relatively large surface area. Large surface area means friction. Friction means harder to move around and harder for this little spring inside to return. So, the ball bearings, since there's just four of them, it's only the very top and bottom edges of the ball bearings that are in contact with plastic. So you have a lot less friction. Ball bearings, by their nature, are designed to be very low friction. It's the whole point of them. So by doing this, I end up with a mechanism that you could see is pretty easy to move around. I'm moving this one around with my pinky finger. It's still got the limited throw that we're looking for, the short throw, and it will take a lot more downward force pressure. So those users who are using their elbows and or their feet, this is going to be a lot better off. Now, at the heart of it, we still have this mechanism. So am I saying this is ideal for feet? No, but it's a lot better than it was. It'll take a lot better abuse there. It also integrates the anti-twisting mechanism, so you're going to get a little bit of twisting, but that's the limit of the twisting to help protect the stick inside. So this, it's been working pretty well. I've been testing these out, making sure that they have a smooth motion. I'm really looking for as smooth as I possibly can in the feel of this while maintaining strength. The other really nice thing about the BB idea that I'm using is that this really sets me up for using different sensors. In the past, I have been looking towards using magnetic sensors instead of the mechanical devices because they'll be more reliable. But I never really had a setup where it was smooth enough to return to allow magnets and everything to realign. But the BB really is significantly better in that feel and in the reduction of friction. So I think that's going to lead to a good path there. So there we go. It's the new BB version of the slider. I have to do photography on these, and we'll be listing them probably within the week or so. We'll do the first batch, get some feedback from users, and then if I need to make updates, I'll make updates as always. It's a continuous evolution of these things. Like I said, I mean, the slider I've been making for about 3 years now, and it has gone through more revisions and more tests and more proof of concepts than I want to think about. Just thinking about it now gives me a headache. So there you go. So coming soon, the new slider BB.